Hello friends, we will discuss a very important topic, ease of doing business index. First we will discuss what is ease of doing business index all about. Second we will discuss India's laudable performance in recent years in this index. Third we will discuss where India is lagging behind, what India has done to improve its performance in recent years, and lastly, what needs to be done to further improve this ranking in ease of doing business index. So let's get started. First, what is ease of doing business index all about? So basically, this is a ranking system which is established by the World Bank Group. Okay, in this index, higher the ranking of an economy, lower its numerical value, and that indicates better, usually simpler regulations for businesses and stronger protection of property rights. So how higher ranking means lower numerical value, or conversely how lower numerical value ensures higher ranking. Let's understand this through an example. There is an indicator called starting a business in this ease of doing business index. In New Zealand, it takes just 0.5 days to start a business, whereas in India, it takes 17 days to start a business. So of course, India has higher numerical value in this indicator, and New Zealand has lower numerical value. So the ranking of New Zealand is very high, whereas India is more than 50 in this ranking. It takes into consideration the regulatory environment of 190 economies in terms of doing business, and 10 indicators is considered while preparing this index. So let's know some more facts about this ease of doing business index. So this ease of doing business project of World Bank Group provides objective measures of business regulations and their enforcement across 190 economies and selected cities. This is a very important point. Selected cities at the subnational and regional level. Why this point which says selected city and subnational and regional level? Because ease of doing business index in India, while calculating this ease of doing business index, it takes into account the business regulation in just two cities, and that is Delhi and Mumbai. So it's not a ranking system which has taken into account a pan-India business regulatory environment, but just two cities, Delhi and Mumbai. Second, it was first launched in 2002, and it looks at domestic small and medium-sized companies. Okay, domestic small and medium-sized companies, and measures the regulations applying to them through their life cycle. Life cycle means the day when it started a business, to the day when it become insolvent. Okay. Doing business encourages economies to compete towards more efficient regulations. We have just, compared India's, the number of days that is taken in India to start a business with that of New Zealand. So it gives us some point of, understanding that where we are lagging behind and where we need to improve in order to further improve our ranking. It also offers measurable benchmarks for reform and serves as a resource for academics, journalists, private sector researchers, and others interested in the business climate of each economy. So I think we have understood this point. Let's now discuss what are the indicators that are used in this ease of doing business index. So there are 10 parameters or indicators that are used in this. First, starting a business. Second is construction permits. Third is getting electricity. Fourth is registering your property. Fifth is getting credit for your business from financial institutions like banks and other. Protecting minority investors. Who are these minority investors? Minority investors are those investors whose stake in a company is less than 50% and have no control over the company, basically the management of the company. Okay, paying taxes in terms of how many taxes you have to pay and how much time it takes to pay the taxes, how much time. Okay, trading across borders, enforcing contracts. This is the judicial part, the legal part of this. Resolving insolvency. What is insolvency? Insolvency is the state where a company becomes insolvent, means the company is incapable, company is not able to pay its, pay its due or the loan which it has taken on time from the financial institutions. Okay, these are the indicators which are considered while preparing this ease of doing business index. Now we will be talking India's laudable performance in this ease of doing business index. India, you see, in 2014 ranking, it was at 63rd position, but in 2019, it jumped to 79 positions. So how India improved so much in ease of doing business index? So out of 10 indicators which we have discussed, India has improved in 7 out of these 10 indicators. You see, it's a great achievement. Okay, and the GST, goods and services tax, which came into effect on July 1, 2017, and insolvency and bankruptcy code, which came into effect in 2016, a year ago. These are the top reforms that propelled India's rise in rankings. How? We will see. You see, insolvency and bankruptcy code came into effect in 2016, and in 2016, India's rank was 136 in this particular indicator, that is resolving insolvency. Resolving insolvency is an indicator in ease of doing business index. In 2016, in this particular indicator, India was at 136th position, but after a year, its ranking jumped to 103rd. So it's an improvement of 33 positions in just a year. And a couple of years later, in 2019, its ranking in this particular indicator was 52nd. So you see this difference, 136 to 52nd. This is the contribution made by this insolvency and bankruptcy code. Now the same effect in GST has not been seen. This is because GST is an integration of many, GST is what? GST is the integration of many different taxes, indirect taxes that were applied in India. So we have reduced the number of taxes which a company has to pay, but the time taken to pay all these taxes has not been reduced. That is why the ranking in this particular indicator, that is you see, that is paying taxes indicator, India's ranking has not improved substantially, because in you see, in 2009, its ranking was, you see, its ranking was like more than 100, and still it's there. So there is no improvement. This is only because we have not reduced the time which it takes to pay taxes in India. So next we will discuss. Let's see what is the next. India's major achievement is summarized here. Construction permit. What India has done in this particular indicator, let's see. India's ranking on this parameter has improved from 184 in 2014 to 27 in 2019. It's a significant jump. You see, from 184 to 27 in just a matter of 5 years. Improvement has been mainly on the account of decrease in number of procedures. Okay, this decrease in number of procedures and time taken for obtaining construction permits in India. Two, first is number and third is time taken. Getting electricity, we have from 137 in 2014 to 22 in 2019. It takes just 53 days and 4 procedures for a business to get an electricity connection in India. This is on account of many government schemes with regard to electricity. Apart from these significant improvements among 190 economies, India ranks 30th in protecting minority investors. Okay, and in getting credit, India's rank is 25th. So these are the indicators we have done fairly well. Okay, so now have a look on the categories where India lags behind. So the first is starting a business. Starting a business, we are lagging behind. Registering property, we are still lagging behind despite all these improvements, because the economies which are at top ranking, their registering property is very easy, still in comparison to India. Paying taxes, we have seen GST. Enforcing contracts, we have seen. So let's now move to the next slide. What is the next slide? We will now compare between India and New Zealand. Why New Zealand? Because New Zealand has been consistently at top ranking, that is ranked 1 in consistently for many years. New Zealand has been at the top of this indicator, at the top of this index. First, compare this with starting a business. Well, in India, if you are willing to start a business, if you are willing to start a business, you will have to go through 10 procedures. Whereas in New Zealand, you have to go through one procedure. In India, the number of days which is required to start a business is 17, whereas in New Zealand, it just takes 0.5 days, that is half day, to start a business. So this is the comparison, and this makes us feel that we are lagging behind in this particular indicator, despite substantial improvement we have done. Second is registering property. If you want to register property in India when you are starting a business, you see this is 2019 index comparison. Registering property, the number of procedures in India required is 9. You have to go through 9 procedures. Whereas in New Zealand, it is just 2 procedures you have to go through. The number of days taken in registering property in India is more than 50, usually more than 50 days on an average. Whereas in New Zealand, it is just 3.5 days. You see, more than 50, 3.5. So this gives us the feedback that we need to improve here. Paying taxes, we have already discussed it. GST was implemented in India in 1st July 2017. Okay, GST is what? GST is basically introduced to eliminate the cascading of different taxes that was in India. So integrating many taxes into a single tax, that is GST. So we reduced the number of taxes. If you see in 2009, the number of taxes that need to be paid in India was 59 in 2000, 59 in 2009. And in 2019, a business or a company has just to pay 12 number of taxes. But the number of days, number of hours required to pay taxes in India was 271 hours in 2009, and it is still more than 250 hours per year in 2019. So this is the number of hours per year it takes to pay taxes in India. in terms of enforcing contract, this is the single biggest hurdle. We will see it separately in the next slide. This is the single biggest hurdle in starting a business in India. That is why we have dedicated a complete slide for it. Look at this. This is this is the biggest hurdle in ease of doing business in India because of India's inability to enforce contracts. India is already notorious for its judicial system, where tendency of cases is, I think, one of the highest in world. You see, Supreme Court, if you see in Supreme Court, there are more than 60,000 cases which are pending. Okay, in higher courts, it is more than 3 lakh cases which are pending. And in subordinate courts, it is more than 2.5 crore cases which are pending. So you see the condition of, pendency of cases in India. If you talk about enforcing contracts in India, it takes 5 days, that is more than 4 years. Whereas in New Zealand, it just takes 216 days, that is less than a year. So you see here, we have to do a lot. Okay, we have to do a lot in this particular indicator if we want to further improve our ranking. Okay, but the question arises, what we have done to improve enforcing contracts in India? Of course, the government is not sleeping. Government is watching very closely this. So government has come up with commercial courts and appellate division of high courts, that has been established in Mumbai and Delhi, where this ease of doing business index is taken account, where this business regulations are taken into account. National Judicial Grid has been, opened for public since 2015. Now, what is this National Judicial Data Grid? It provides case data, including case of registration, cause list, case status, and orders judgment of courts district-wise across the country. So you can see what is the condition of your, case. E-filing of cases has been enabled in the district courts of Delhi and Mumbai. So this is the a very important step which the government has taken, and we can hope that it will further improve the, So this was all about today's topic. We will meet yet again with another topic, which will be another crucial topic. So up to that, keep your dreams alive. Thank you.